So with the help of Hashem, we want to understand better the meaning of the name of the person, and specifically the letters that their combination together excuse me, are creating the name. So let's start with the name of the person. Excuse me. The name of the person is not like his phone number. Okay, there is people that they think that just I need to call him somehow, so I call him this name. It can be like any other thing, any other name. You can call him Mr. X, and that will be fine as well. So the answer is no. The name is, let's say, for me the best way to describe it is like a garment of the inner light of the person. Okay? So we know that in the Kabbalah everything is about like we have the source of the light, we have the recipients, and what's connecting between them is all of the worlds, the sfirot and the different partsufim, and the letters. The letters are also there like channels. Yeah. There is a very interesting book. Let's start like this. One of the fundamental sources to understand the quality of letters, meaning of the letters, is the Sefer Yetzirah. Sefer Yetzirah is one of the most, maybe the almost ancient book of the Jewish people, and it is mentioned in the Gemara, in the Mishnah, in the Zohar. So obviously it was there before all of those books, right? And it says that actually it was done, written, received by Avraham Avinu. Okay, so I have in the copy that I have here of the Sefer Yetzirah, a few copies, but the copy that I like, new edition that they made. So there's a paragraph in the beginning of one of the introductions, and so it says that one of the angels, that his name is Tzadki and then Kel, was the rabbi of Avraham Avinu, and he gave him this wisdom of the Sefer Yetzirah. Now, we don't know if Avraham Avinu was actually the one that wrote the Sefer Yetzirah. Maybe it was oral Torah until the time of the Mishnah, and it was written around that same time, like the Mishnayot. But anyhow, obviously because it was there like for so many years, so you can guess that there is so many commentaries on Sefer Yetzirah. Many of the big rabbis of Am Yisrael, they wrote commentary on Sefer Yetzirah. So there's like one of the there is many books that have many commentaries, but this is a major one. There's many commentaries for that, and one of them that I like, that have like gives very interesting connections that are unique. You don't find them in other places. One of the commentaries is called Otot U'Moadim. So whenever just like background, the point of what I want to say is that this commentary Otot U'Moadim on Sefer Yetzirah is making is splitting the letters according to the way that it's brought down in Sefer Yetzirah, obviously, to the connections between the 10 sfirot. Okay, so you have the illustration of the 10 sfirot, yeah, and then you have those lines between them, right? You saw those pictures. Many people are using them. Not many people understand what does it mean, but many people are using them. So those channels between the sfirot, there's many possibilities, more than what they put in those pictures usually. So those connections. So the Sefer Yetzirah, the Otot U'Moadim on the Sefer Yetzirah is giving a few possibilities of how to arrange the 22 letters, that there are 22 connections. It's actually 27, not 22, because the Mansepach are doubled. Yeah, you have the Otiyot Sofiyot, 5 Otiyot Sofiyot, so 22 plus 5, so we have 27 letters. So those 27 letters, is the way he's organizing them, it's like 27 connections between the 10 sfirot. Okay? So without going into the details of which letter does what, because that will be like very complicated, it won't be like one little class, it will be many classes, but the understanding that each one of the letters is actually a channel of light, transmitting light from one sphere to another sphere. And obviously, when someone have a certain combination of certain letters in his name, so it means that he have connection in his, that his inner light is connected to his body, to his physical body, through those combinations of the channels of those connections between the sphirot. Okay? So the result of all what I'm saying is that it makes a big difference. When someone is changing his name, it's not just, like changing his phone number, right? It makes it like the whole system of how the light goes from the inner levels of his neshama to the more external levels of his neshama. All those channels will be changed now. So it's not something that someone should do like just like lightheaded. Okay, I like this name, so let it be my name. Fine. It's something that is serious. And I had some people coming to me and telling me, I want to change my name. What do you say? This, that. So usually I'm not recommending people to change their name. Okay. Sometimes I will tell someone it's better to add a name. Someone that, for example, some lady came and she have a name that is not Jewish. So it's not in the tradition of the Judaism. And she said she wants to change her name, maybe. So, but the new name that she wanted is also not so much in the tradition of Am Yisrael. It's not a negative name, but it's the idea of using the same names over and over again. How many Avraham there is, how many Yaakov there is, how many Moshe there is. Why we using the same names all the time? Yeah, it's because that's you want to be winner, right? So you building yourself on a platform that is already proved itself. Okay, so those combinations of the letters, they prove themselves to be successful, right? So if somebody is taking his decision to make some kind of a random name that it's not in the tradition of Am Yisrael, maybe it will come out good, but he's taking a risk. Okay, so for this lady and for many other people, I said like it's better to add another name, and that new name that you're adding, make sure that it will be something that is like within the tradition of Am Yisrael, not something random that people like because it sounds good. I will add that for some people they feel, what do you say? I changed my name and I didn't feel that it made any difference for me. I don't feel that I'm receiving like my spiritual abundance differently than what it was before. Maybe some people will say that. So my answer to them will be that probably they don't feel the spiritual abundance that comes to them anyhow. So when someone is not sensitive to, let's say for example, about diet. So someone that is like eating like junk food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So he will say, I don't know what you're saying about healthy food. I'm eating like this junk food all the time, and I feel good. I don't feel that it's I don't feel any problem. So there's no problem until there's a problem, right? Someone that is conscious of his diet and is eating healthy. So if he will eat something that is not healthy, so probably like within that day he won't feel good because his system is already like functioning in a healthy way. So the same thing in the spiritual. When someone is like, it doesn't have the right connection to his soul anyhow, he's not healthy in his spirituality, his connection between himself and his neshama, so then it won't make a difference for him. So there's no, like he doesn't feel bad until something happens, and then he's going to the rabbi to ask why it's happening to him. Fine. But for someone that he wants to grow in his spirituality and he wants to connect to his soul, so the advice is find the right way to do it. Do it in the right way. Do it in the traditional way of Am Yisrael. There is a way to do it, and one of them is to use the name. And also another thing that I want to add, that there's many people that they have okay, there's two possibilities here. There is people that they have few names. Okay, now within the few names possibility, so the question is, what is the extra name? What is the meaning of the extra name? Is that something that is for example, there is many people that grew up in the States or other places outside of Eretz Israel, and their parents gave them two names, that one is like non-Jewish, doesn't sound Jewish, and one sounds Jewish.
So I have a middle name that is Jewish. Is this would be considered two names, or would be considered a lesser name?
So let step by step. Okay. So when there is a name that they gave, the parents gave, or the person took, just to be comfortable when he's in a non-Jewish like society, whatever, he needs to list himself in something that they like. He doesn't want them to say what how to spell your name, all kinds of reactions like that. So he's using something that will be like easy to for people to digest, and he's not really relating to that as his name. So that will be one possibility. It's not really his name. It's just like the phone number, yeah. But it could be that someone exactly the opposite. He have a Jewish name that he never uses. He got a Jewish name, but he's always using his secular name. Yeah? And he's not relating to his Jewish name. So then it becomes a big question. Is it really his name if he's not using it? Everybody are calling him his non-Jewish name. So it's not so simple to answer this question. And it comes up many times when you have like children that are like Balei Tshuva, they want to pray for their parents or for their like siblings or whatever it is, like people from their family that are not religious and they are not Jewish, using Jewish names, but they have Jewish names. So then like you ask yourself, so how do I call this person when I want to pray for him, right? So that's something that is very common. It happens many times. And there's no one answer for that. There's different rabbis that are giving different answers for that. I will say to use both names in case like that, because the Jewish name it has a meaning. It was given to the person in his birth. It has a meaning. But you cannot ignore the fact that he is identifying himself and people are calling him within his not Jewish name. Okay. Now there is another possibility of someone that is Jewish and he have more than one names. I have a friend that I used to learn with that he have 4 names because he was like the last child of his parents, and they had all those like names that he want to give to their children, and they understood he's going to be the last one, so they gave him like 4 names. What is it? I call him Moshe, but his name is Moshe Avram David something like 4 names, yeah. So that becomes to be like, to call someone in like 4 names, it's a little bit difficult. So he decided he's calling himself Moshe. That's how he's presenting himself. That's how people call him. And sometimes he's mentioning that he have really 4 names. But my son, for example, for whatever reason, it's a long story, but I gave him 3 names. Okay, Meir Yosef Shalom. So I got used to call him in all of the 3 names all the time. Every time I call him Meir Yosef Shalom. It's like it became to be like one name, Meir Yosef Shalom. Okay, why is that? Why I'm persisting to use like the 3 names? Could just like pick one of the 3 and use that. So the answer is because I understand that when every time I call him in his full name, so I'm connecting him with his connections between his inner light to the external levels of his being. So that's like strengthening this connection. Yeah. So it makes a difference how people are calling the person. Okay. Obviously, it also depends like which people. Yeah. I'm not talking about the secretary in the bank. That's like that doesn't have so much meaning. But when you have like your parents, your children, your whatever, like someone that is close to you, that is like good friend, whatever, around you, that are calling you with your full name, so it makes a difference, right? And it's strengthening this connection. So I think we'll hold it here for today, and I will just finish with a blessing that Hashem will give all of us the clarity of how to use the names, how to use the letters, how to pronounce everything in the right way, and to connect our being to the source of the light of Hashem. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen v'amen.